Welcome back, everybody. Now, here's an inspirational story. The 40 Under 40 South Africa Awards are curated to identify, honor, and celebrate a cross-section of the nation's most influential and accomplished young business leaders under the age of 40 from a wide range of industries. Now, these are individuals who are committed to business growth, professional excellence, community service, and have risen up the ranks of their companies or industries. And joining us in studio for more on this 40 Under 40 country manager, Phophi Muvhango, and nominee in the category Music and Entertainment, our very own Fortune Madlala. A very good morning to you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Good stuff. Good to have you. I'm going to start with you, Phophi. Just take us through the awards and who you've partnered with this year.
So basically, 40 Under 40 is a concept that started all the way in Ghana 7 years ago. And 2 years ago, we then established 40 Under 40 Africa. And from that, we decided through the success of 40 Under 40 Africa, let's have 40 Under 40 SA. So this will be the first edition of 40 Under 40 South Africa that we'll be hosting on the 9th of September at Houghton Hotel this year.
Okay. What's the end goal, though, for these awards?
It's to celebrate entrepreneurs and people that are doing exceptionally well in their different spaces and industries. And we've opened up the awards to CEOs as well. But however, in the categories such as journalism, aviation, banking and finance, we have said someone doesn't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur or CEO, but they can just be exceptionally well in their field. And that's why we have the likes of my learned colleague here under the nomination of music. Yes.
Well done, Fortune.
Thank you.
Wow, congratulations. I know you've already snatched it. I mean, the fact that you've reached this far, it means you are a winner already. Being a nominee is a huge accolade on its own.
True, very true. Because, I mean, it's a recognition itself. For the fact that one recognizes the talent, one recognizes the opportunity, actually, because it's something that's not very common in South Africa.
No, not at all.
Having sign language interpreters in music, or even having lyric videos in sign language, which is it's not a norm. In other countries, yes, it's happening out there, but in South Africa, the very first time was with Ubuntu Java, and I think that's something that's worth celebrating.
It is. It definitely is. And when I saw you in that video, I was like, go girl. The world is your oyster. Okay, you are the CEO of a communications company, and you've been nominated in the music and entertainment category. Just take us through that. I mean, the kind of work that you do.
Okay. Personally, I'm a language practitioner with special focus in sign language. But then with the work that we do, basically, it's sign language interpretation and bridging the gap, the communication gap between the hearing community and the deaf community. But what's most important in what we do is we're not focused only on one sector, not just only on media or your briefings through parliament or briefings anywhere else. But then now, the biggest thing and the best thing is that we've now ventured into the entertainment industry, because deaf people are everywhere. When they go to concerts, it's one of the things that they need to also have that accessibility to also get what the musicians are talking about, because music is also about message. So that message is important for people to get. As much as us as hearing people, deaf people also deserve to have that same accessibility.
But how so, though? I mean, how are you playing a part in terms of that accessibility that you're talking about? I mean, you mentioned music concerts. Are you physically there to offer your sign language services?
I must say, and I will just bluntly put it there, to say that in South Africa, we're still very far behind when it comes to live performance and having sign language interpreters. The lyric videos, music videos, yes, we have started that, and I've also worked and partnered with Vendor Boy, apart from Java, which is Peace Be With You, and another that we did recently was Peace Be With You, but before that it was Umcebo. So, but then when it comes to live concerts, it's not a norm. People are not aware of it. And I think even with the music and the event organizers, they don't give such platforms, because I've attempted to do that, and the results were not that welcoming, because before the artist actually came on stage, people were signing along with me, they were enjoying, but when the main artist came on stage, it was like, okay, now move away. And deaf people were also in the platform. So I think we still need to create that more awareness of having accessibility, because deaf people also attend concerts and they also deserve to have that same accessibility. So arts, music and entertainment, we still have a long way to go. But I'm hoping this is the beginning, and this is going to create awareness also in future, even for other young upcoming interpreters to say, this is another path that you can take
Indeed.
when it comes to interpreting.
You know, you're so spot on, Fortune. I mean, and we certainly hope that with this accolade, with this nomination and award, it'll raise the bar in terms of magnifying the voice of the deaf community, hey?
That's very true. Because,
right.
I mean, looking at South Africa now being officialized with a South African Sign Language, it's
Yes.
also going to be
Yes, absolutely.
a must, basically, not just
Absolutely.
within only entertainment, but everywhere else, in media, in government departments, private sectors. It's something that we're going to need to have to up our game when it comes to that. Yeah.
Now, Phophi, what's your selection criteria? What is it that you are looking for?
So basically, we look at innovation, we look at professionalism, we look at how the individuals are actually contributing in the community and the work they've done through the companies or the industry themselves. So the jury at the moment, they're currently looking at supporting documents. We're currently looking at all individuals. We have 151 finalists from a pool of 350.
Wow.
So we had to cut it down. It was tough. And at the moment, we are looking at, through the 151 finalists, we have 81 women and 71 men. So the women are leading and we're very proud of them. And we're looking forward to the actual awards, to awarding those deserving individuals.
How many
And
categories are we looking at?
we were looking at 40 categories.
40 categories,
40
okay.
categories. And we were not able to fill all the categories, but we saw exceptional nominations that came through, and some of the people that have not made it to the finalists still have an opportunity to enter again next year. We're definitely going to do a second annual 40 under 40 SA. And just to speak about our partners, we're also in partnership with the Department of Women, Youth and People with Disabilities, and they are championing with us to actually host the awards. And we also have the NYDA in our support, and we're also looking into growing the platform for other sponsors to come and join us so that we can celebrate the CEOs and entrepreneurs of South Africa who are doing exceptionally well.
Awesome
Yes.
stuff. Now, Fortune, how have you integrated sign language in the various businesses that your company does?
Sign language interpretation is actually everywhere because it's needed. Deaf people are everywhere and they need those services everywhere. I'm talking about within hospitals, I'm talking about within the court environment, in the legal environment, when you go to anywhere that you go, sign language interpretation is needed so that we offer services also with conferences, businesses, everywhere else, even in the educational sector. And I think that's also another point that we need to highlight, to say that when it comes to the higher education, we need to make sure that we're on par. Also, the deaf community gets on par also with the hearing community. So the inaccessibility of them having to get to the higher education is because of lack of sign language interpreters who actually give those services for them to acquire that knowledge and get to having their PhDs and so forth. So we provide services in various sectors. And one thing that I'm really hoping for is that when you look at the arts and entertainment, I know it sounds a bit far-fetched, but in future we can even have interpreters in theaters. I know it's happening there in theaters, even in cinemas, when in movies, because that accessibility and that access to information. You know, I love this quote that Nelson Mandela once said, to say, if you speak to a man in a language that he understands, it goes to the head. But if you speak to him in his own language, it goes to the heart. So, I mean, that's the most important thing, accessibility.
Okay. Ladies, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Just quickly, how do we vote?
So you can vote your favorite finalist surname at 36445.
Okay. Lovely chatting to you. All the best, eh?
Thank you.
Great stuff. Well, that was 40 under 40 country manager Phophi Muvhango and nominee in the category of music and entertainment, our very own Fortune Madlala, speaking to us about the 40 under 40 awards, which honor and celebrate a cross-section of the nation's most influential and accomplished young business leaders under the age of 40.